Although scientists spend countless hours and even years of their lives attempting to uncover the secrets of the world, there are always exciting new findings and mysterious phenomenon left to decipher. Whether it is uncovering what it means to be a human or studying strange behaviour in an ocean-dwelling cephalopod, science has been able to give us many answers, but we know that it will never give us all of the answers. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be looking at 3 recent discoveries and what they tell us or don't about humanity and the world around us. Harvard scientists claim to have found the physical source of consciousness. Human consciousness has been one of life's greatest enduring mysteries, puzzling theorists, scientists, and philosophers alike for thousands of years. But now, scientists have published a study that suggests that we might be one step closer to solving this mystery once and for all. The past few decades have brought multiple leaps and bounds in the field of neuroscience, as technology has allowed researchers to dive deeper into the human brain than ever before. This has allowed us to be able to track brain activity throughout multiple stages of consciousness and alertness, as scientists attempted to piece together how all of these electrical signals come together to create a brain that is unique from most other organisms in its awareness of its own existence. This study highlights research that pinpoints a network of 3 specific brain regions that appear to be related to consciousness in some way. For many years, consciousness has been considered to consist of 2 parts, an arousal portion and an awareness portion. And while the arousal portion has been linked to the brain stem, the awareness portion of consciousness has been much harder to pin down, although many researchers had suspicions that it lay somewhere on the outer layer of the brain. The Harvard study not only pinpointed the exact brainstem region that generates arousal, but it also found 2 regions of the cortex that seem to work in conjunction to form awareness and thus consciousness. Lead researcher Michael Fox from the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center at Harvard Medical School spoke on the impressive significance of these findings by saying that for the first time we have found a connection between the brainstem region involved in arousal and regions involved in awareness, 2 prerequisites for consciousness. A lot of pieces of evidence all came together to point to this network playing a role in human consciousness. To arrive at this discovery, the team deeply analysed the brain activity of patients who were unconscious or in a comatose state due to brain lesions and compared them to the brain activity of patients who had also experienced brain lesions but had maintained consciousness in order to try to pinpoint the differences between the 2 groups. Once the regions in question were identified, the researchers verified their conclusions with fMRI scans of 45 patients in vegetative states to ensure that they all experienced disruptions in the network between these 3 regions. Their findings were further verified by these scans, and it seems that science might have at last taken us one step closer to discovering the underlying factors of humanity. But why does this research matter? For starters, it helps to answer the enduring and pervasive question: what does it mean to be human? But in a more practical and worldly sense, understanding the physical source of consciousness not only helps scientists and doctors to develop a more holistic understanding of the brain regions and the mysterious bases of neurology, but it could potentially also help in the treatment for patients in a vegetative state who are alive but lack consciousness. Researchers hope that brain stimulation of the consciousness centers of the brain could lead to the development of a treatment for these individuals. Understanding the basis of consciousness can lead to innovations of all fields of science, as consciousness is the foundation of all aspects of humanity. For now, however, independent research is needed to confirm these exciting results and allow steps to be taken in developing treatments for vegetative patients and individuals with disorders of the consciousness. Octopus punch fish out of spite. When it comes to sea life, octopuses are some of the most interestingly complex creatures in the entirety of the immense depths of the ocean. Scientists studying the strange cephalopods are constantly amazed at their intellectual capacity, and this newest discovery is an interesting one for scientists attempting to understand the evolution of complex behaviours. Octopuses have a collaborative, symbiotic relationship with several types of reef fish and groupers, and have often been seen hunting in groups together. Each species has adapted to be able to take advantage of the other's hunting strategy and signalling methods to allow the group to cover more ground and have more successful hunts. And, as with any competition, when too many creatures get involved, the tensions can begin to run high. Scientists observing these collaborative hunts have noticed that octopuses have the strange habit of suddenly but intentionally punching fish in their hunting groups, and it seems as though this is occurring purely out of spite. Some speculate that the punch is not entirely unwarranted, and instead is used by the octopus to keep the fish hunting in the pack with them in line and to remain the dominant figure as they relocate positions or evict them from the group altogether. Others hypothesize that the octopuses strike their fellow hunting mates when they want to deter them from prey, temporarily stunning them so that they can sweep in and reap the rewards. However, researchers have also noticed that there have been cases where the octopus punched its fishy neighbours with apparently no provocation or reason whatsoever, providing evidence to the case that the octopuses might simply be prone to mood swings rather than using a calculated strategical move during a group hunt. In either case, the poor fish never stand a chance, as the spiteful punches are unannounced and usually hit their target. This is not the only example of strange octopus behaviour that has been observed either. The beloved creatures can change their texture and shape at will to slide through small cracks and camouflage themselves from predators and prey alike. They also have 2/3 of their brains spread out through their arms so that they can operate each arm independently. These strange behaviours, combined with this newly discovered habit of decking innocently passing fish, hints at complex cognitive pathways on the part of the octopus and raises many questions for scientists about how organisms with brains so different from our own can still manage to form and develop complex thoughts, morphologies and behaviours. But for now, all we know is that the octopus seems to have a bit of an attitude problem. Jeff Bezos predicts people will one day be born in space. How do you keep growing your career when you are already one of the richest men that the world has ever seen? Well, for Jeff Bezos at least, you shoot for the stars. Quite literally. Bezos, who has recently visited space himself thanks to his fledgling space tourism company Blue Origin, spoke about his travels, predicting that one day going to space will be no great feat. In fact, he speculated that before too much longer, space will serve as a primary home to many, many individuals, and that people will likely be born and die in space. These comments were made as part of Bezos' speech at the Ignatius Forum in Washington, D.C. recently, where the billionaire and founder of Amazon shared some impressive predictions about his visions for the future of space. For starters, he is looking beyond other planets as a location for space life or future human colonies, and envisions enormous floating space habitats capable of comfortably housing 1 million people and complete with flowing rivers, forests, and wildlife to complete the cosmic ecosystems. During his speech, Bezos commented that over centuries, many people will be born in space. It will be their first home. They will be born on these colonies, live on these colonies, then they'll visit Earth the way you would visit, Yellowstone National Park. And Mr. Bezos is not the only incomprehensibly wealthy man setting his sights on higher things either. Elon Musk, owner of Tesla and fellow billionaire, has spoken on many occasions about his interest in using his own space company SpaceX to attempt to terraform Mars. This process would enable humans to live on Mars as if it were a second Earth, and while some see this option as a much more feasible one for science to achieve, Jeff Bezos disagrees. He addressed these concerns during his speech, saying that even if you were to terraform Mars or do something very dramatic like that, which could be very, very challenging by the way, even if you were to do that, that is, at most, a doubling of Earth. Then you're going from 10 billion people to 20 billion people. Topics also touched on during the Washington, D.C. Forum include the existence of life on other planets, a phenomenon which Bezos believes is entirely possible, and even close to statistically certain. But is Jeff Bezos' dream of future space life likely to come to fruition? Although massive floating colonies in space complete with rivers and forests might seem like something out of a science fiction novel, with multiple recent advances in space technology and NASA outsourcing their replacement for the International Space Station in order to commercialize it, it seems that truly anything is possible. But what do you make of these fascinating discoveries and predictions? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.